Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. This podcast features powerful hypnosis, so do not listen while driving or operating machinery. This recording is not suitable for those with epilepsy or severe mental health issues. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here. And in this hypnosis session, you're going to be listening to a hypnosis that is created around the idea of financial independence and financial freedom. And I was working with a client that was very smart, very on the ball, but because of things in their past, had learned to use avoidance to avoid emotional or other forms of pain. And that could be the pain of disappointment, other forms of feeling let down. So they were in a business, but it wasn't a business that they were passionate about. They did have an idea of other ways in which they could get passionate about that, and an entirely different business that would make them perhaps even more passionate. But this hypnosis session deals with two key things. One is learning from the past so that they understand their true nature, that their true nature is to be someone that likes to create value, likes to be a leader, likes to use their initiative and listen to their intuition, but also to feel worthy and competent in having the kind of life that they would want. And that is a life of financial freedom, that they could increase their income while at the same time increasing the quality of their lifestyle and ensuring that in the future they wouldn't have to be dependent on anyone else ever again. And this uses a metaphor of a riverbank. And what I like about this metaphor is that if you've got a big, deep river, most people would understand that you can't jump across the river in one leap, that actually you would end up just ending up in the water and being washed away. But if there were stepping stones across the river, then what you couldn't do in one leap, you could certainly do in maybe 7, 8, 9 different steps. So we use that as a metaphor for them to incrementally get their head around the idea of what becoming more passionate would mean for their business and their income, and what it would mean to be able to scale upwards and increase their income, and not just income for the sake of income, but income that leads to profit, that leads to actual cash that they are able to deploy in ways that they would want. And I actually use this suggestion in this hypnosis because I was told this by someone that I really respect. And they said this phrase, and that is that revenue is ego and profit is subjective, and it's cash that is absolute reality. Cash is king. And that stuck with me because you can have a high revenue business with high expenses. You can even have a high revenue business that's making a loss. That isn't necessarily a good thing. And there's things that you can do in terms of tax points and how you depreciate assets that can absolutely change your profit margins. So there's an element of subjectivity. But what really matters is how much cash you've got when everything is left over. So from your profits and after taxes, what you have after that. And that's really the most important number. So we utilize this in the stepping stones so that they could see how they could get to earning $1 million a year in a very feasible way by doing something they're actually passionate about. Now, I think lots of people would like to increase their income, but you don't have to have a business to do that. There are lots of other ways that you can increase income. If you like the idea of increasing your income, certainly listen to this session. But if you want something a bit more bespoke to you, there will be a link in the description where you can schedule a completely free consultation call to explore working with me. For now, though, find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be disturbed, relax, and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that slow, long, relaxing breath, and as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close. That's it. And as they close, feel the weight of your eyelids getting heavier, and feel the rhythm of your breath getting slower. Just quickly scan your body for any clues or echoes of tension. Maybe in your forehead, your neck, your jaw. And just give yourself permission to release. Breathing in that resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, releasing that tension, allowing it to just leave your body slowly but surely in every outward breath. Just allow your arms and legs to feel limp, loose, heavy. Imagine your head is like a helium balloon. You can think of the color of that balloon on a string, and it's weightless. And just imagine your hair just floating there on your neck and your shoulders. So you don't need any tension to keep it like that. Just feeling more and more relaxed. And as your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I want you to imagine the most beautiful river, perhaps in a meadow or a forest. The kind of place far, far away from any towns and cities. A fast-flowing, deep river. The kind of river that you couldn't paddle across. The only way across the river would be a bridge, but there's no bridge around. And just imagine that you're on one side of the river and you can see the bank of the other side across that fast flowing water. That's it. Imagine a day with blue skies and sunshine, and just allow yourself in that place in nature near that river. Allow yourself to feel deeper and deeper relaxed. With every breath, feel yourself becoming more calm, more centered, more still. Just feel a ripple of relaxation starting at the top of your head, drifting down your forehead, relaxing even your eyebrows, your cheeks, all the muscles around your eyes, your jaw. Release even more tension in your neck and your shoulders as you feel that sensation flowing down through your arms, your chest, your stomach. Each breath like a wave of calm energy, just soothing your nervous system, grounding you deeper into this moment. And maybe you can imagine yourself wearing whatever clothing is suitable to be there by the side of that river. And as your body relaxes, your mind opens even more, like a vault unlocking. I want you to feel that you are releasing and awakening powerful resources that perhaps you've forgotten about for a long time. Resources like confidence, leadership, that proactive nature of yours was never lost, just asleep. So as you imagine seeing that beautiful river, I want you to get a sense that there is a version of you on the other side of the river. And I want you to see that other version of you representing freedom, competency, and confidence. She's smiling. You can tell from the posture, the facial expressions. This is the version of you living a wonderful life. And you can tell from the clothes you're wearing, an affluent life of abundance. This is a version of you earning $1 million a year or more. She's there. And maybe you see her 1 year older, 2 years older, maybe 3, but not in the long distant future. This is just a few years away. And you didn't notice it before. But I want you to see that there are stepping stones from where you are to that other bank of the river. You couldn't get to the other side in one leap. You wouldn't make it. You would just end up in the river being washed away. But what is impossible in one leap is easily doable, one step at a time. So imagine those stepping stones. Imagine the river, and imagine that version of you on the other side. It's not time to cross the river yet, because now in this relaxed state, you begin to remember something profound and powerful. Isn't it the case that you were always worthy? Worthy of love, worthy of opportunities, worthy of joy. But you've also always been worthy of wealth and success. The kind of success that you don't need to sacrifice your peace. And as you accept that worthiness, I want you to begin to feel a shift, like a door unlocking within you, and knowing that the more you trust yourself and the more you follow your passions, the more you allow the money to just flow in. Because now is not the time to be shackled by your past. Money is not who you are, but simply a mirror of the value that you create or the risks that you courageously take. Risks with clarity, intelligence, and discernment. And every decision you make from this point on is infused with self-worth and quiet confidence. And more, day by day, as you begin to make choices, have ideas, take action infused with passion, as more and more you express your work with enthusiasm, don't be surprised if people respond differently. Opportunities respond, life responds. What felt elusive is suddenly abundant, because your income is already rising in proportion to your energy, your clarity, and your courage. You are already unlocking new strategies and new ideas, and you act on them quickly, wisely. Because when you act on an idea quickly, you either win or you learn. No guessing, just testing. If it works, you move forward. If it doesn't, you become wiser. So you say yes to what aligns with your values, and no to those distractions, drama, and drains. And most of your drama and drains isn't in your present anyway. It's just echoes of your past. But now your boundaries are strong. Your time is sacred, and you are no longer available for things that pull you away from your purpose. And you begin to absorb these truths like fertile soil taking in the rain. You are worthy of earning more than you ever imagined. And the more you love what you do, the more wealth you attract. And your income grows in proportion to the value that you create. You don't need to be perfect, because you make intelligent, confident, and decisive decisions. And as your income and wealth grows, you protect that wealth through wise choices and strong boundaries. So see that multi-millionaire version of you on the other side of the river, earning at least 1 million a year. And see how natural it is for that version of you. It feels aligned, natural, and like the person you were always meant to be. And I want you to see that version of you with the home you would want to live in, the work you do, the energy you carry, the peace you radiate. This version of you has mastered the dance between drive and rest, between ambition and intuition. You are no longer chasing money. you are attracting it through aligned action. And from this place of wealth, you give. All the options, no obligations, you invest, you protect your time, you elevate others. Because you are not just building wealth, you're building freedom and legacy. And that version of you already exists, just there on the other side of the river. But now it's time to meet that version of you. So take the first step, that first stepping stone across the river. And this isn't an increase in income. This is an increase in intuition and passion. That comes first. Feel what it would feel like to trust yourself more and unlock that passion, making any changes necessary to feel that passion. And then take the second step, where income starts to rise in proportion to more value that you're creating. It doesn't have to be the most you've ever made, just more than you're currently making, as evidence that you are more aligned with your passions. And now for the next step. This may be in just a few weeks or a few months' time, earning the most you've ever made in a single month, because it aligns with who you are. 3 steps across that river, and it already feels like you're making progress. And then the next step, you've done something that means that you can scale your income. Ways to serve more people. So imagine now what it would be like to make 30, 40, 50,000 a month. It feels natural. It feels that you must be doing something good for the world. Your lifestyle is increasing, but you don't need to spend all of this money. It's an option on your future. You get to do what you want to do. Then take the next step. A breakthrough, a new idea, a new revenue stream. Something that amplifies profits. Feel how good it feels to be moving in this direction. And then imagine the next step. And maybe there's just 2 or 3 more steps until the other side of the river. Not just income, but profits and the cash you keep. Income is ego. Profit is subjective. It's the cash that remains. That's what's real. I want you to imagine how good it would feel to have 50,000 a month after costs, after taxes. That's what's real. And when you get a sense of what that's like, let me know by nodding your head. And then I want you to imagine the next step is increasing your income by 50%. 75,000 after all costs, all taxes, every month. That's just an average, sometimes higher, sometimes lower. And notice that you don't need all of that money for your lifestyle. So you are building a war chest. money that you can use to invest, to grow, to acquire assets that give you even more freedom. And then that final stepping stone before the other side of the river, your very first $100,000 month. Not in income, not in profit. After everything, you've made 100,000. I want you to feel how good this feels, because it's a sign that you're creating value for the world. And then finally, cross to the other side of the riverbank and step into that future version of you, to feel how it would feel to be making more than $1 million every year. And that's what's left behind. After all the costs, all the expenses, that's what you have for you and the people you love and the life you desire and the future you crave. And if this feels not just possible or probable, but inevitable, let me know by nodding your head. And in doing so, you awaken the very resources necessary for that self-fulfilling prophecy. I want you to imagine it's time to reconnect here with the present, but taking these feelings, this belief, this connection with your intuition with you, these strong boundaries and discernment with you. You keep the qualities so that you naturally gravitate to this future version of you. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Just wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes. That's it. Connect and calibrate into the here and the now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.
Thank you for listening to The Hypnotist with Adam Cox, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. To automatically receive the latest episodes, please subscribe. If you'd like to support the show, please share this episode with just one friend you think it could help. And if this episode helped you, please leave us a 5-star review.